Hey everybody, welcome to another episode of Reviewing Comics with me, your host, Alexander Turbin. Today I'm going to be going over Deadworld, the precursor to The Walking Dead, which everybody knows and loves. But I think the Deadworld here, it gets a little bit less love than it really probably should. But before we get into that, I'd like to show you some of my own work. This is Random Access, which is a full-size, sometimes full-color, I'm getting back to that, comic that I produce every month. It's 12 pages, and 10 pages are my own, and 2 pages are by backup artists and fellow artists and stuff like that. The backups this month are by Chris Knox and Paul Courtjohn, and they've been doing the backups for the last few months. You can get these at patreon.com/AlexTurbin. And like I said, it's up to issue actually 24. This isn't the newest one. But yeah, you can get them at Patreon, or you can go to my website, alexanderturbin.com, or you can contact me at alexanderturbin04401 at Yahoo, which is my email, or you can contact me directly through Instagram at alexturbin04401 at Instagram. So now that I'm done shamelessly plugging my own work, and you can not fast forward through that anymore, let's get to Deadworld. So Deadworld, like I said, is a precursor to The Walking Dead. And I really loved The Walking Dead show. I actually don't have any Walking Dead comics, and which is kind of a shame. And I might have to, now that the show's kind of waned quite a bit, it's a little bit easier to get copies of stuff, because they just produced mass amounts of The Walking Dead stuff, and I think it kind of flooded the market a little bit. But Deadworld came out in 1987, and The Walking Dead was 2006. So it's really the precursor to The Walking Dead. But I mean, The Walking Dead was inspired by all of the zombie flicks, and I loved zombie movies and stuff like that. It's not something that, like, I never had posters on the wall or anything like that. I mean, I did get Fangoria back in the day, and I enjoyed the zombie stuff in there. But mostly it would be one of those things where we would go down to the video store, and we would rent 2 or 3 movies, and one of them would be a zombie movie. And and I really loved them. I rewatched Night of the Living Dead with my wife a few months ago, and she just totally did not get it. She did not understand it. It takes a certain insight and a certain understanding to appreciate a zombie movie, especially if it doesn't have the greatest special effects or whatever. But she loved The Walking Dead. So The Walking Dead is quite different than any other zombie movie or TV show or anything like that. The fact that it's not funny at all. And I mean, there might be a few funny parts, but it's really the show I'm talking about. I'm not talking about the comic book, since I've never actually read it. But The Walking Dead isn't funny, and I think that's a lot of what really got it really popular, was its intensity and its stuff like that. Whereas Deadworld, it's got a lot of humorous parts, and also all of these other zombie movies they're comical, they're funny. It's something that horror movies kind of fall back on if they are not quite, they don't hit that bar of quality or something, or professionalism, that they can't be taken completely serious, so they kind of fall back a little bit on the humor. I mean, Evil Dead did that, but in a fantastic way. I'm not putting those things down at all. I think they're wonderful. But you reach another plateau if you go completely seriously. So Deadworld is scripted by Stuart Kerr, and scripted and plots and art by Vincent Lockes. I think this is mainly a Vincent Lockes joint, and he kind of he maybe doesn't do the nitty-gritty plotting, or nitty-gritty scripting rather. He probably does most of the plotting, and I'm assuming, I don't know at all, but I'm thinking maybe they do it a little bit Marvel method, where they would discuss the plot, and Vincent would go back, do the drawing, do the story, and then maybe Stuart Kerr would do the scripting a little bit. That's complete guess, which I hate the Marvel method. If anybody knows me or has watched these videos, they know that I hate the Marvel method, and I think that, yes, letting your artists have a lot of freedom is a great aspiration, but there's a fine line between letting letting your artist have creative inspiration and creative freedom, and letting the artist do everything and not getting the appropriate amount of credit. If you script it, plot it, draw it, ink it, everything, you should get 90% of the credit. I mean, I don't know. Let me know if you guys agree with me, disagree with me. Let me know. And also let me know if you guys have read Deadworld and what you think of it. So Vincent Locke also did A History of Violence, which I have not seen. That's a movie that's on my list. But I thought he had done more stuff. But really, apparently, he just did that and the Deadworld. And I don't know how many issues Deadworld went through. But it went from Archer or Arrow comics to Caliber, and there's also a thing at the end of this that I'm really kind of even more excited about than Deadworld, because I'm doing Deadworld not because I'm particularly enamored with it, because I mean I just read it and it's pretty good, and I remember it. I would pick up issues every once in a while, and I would it's pretty hard to follow something like this if you're not getting every issue every month and all of the characters and everything that's going on, much like Warlock 5. If you're not maintaining that strict schedule of reading these comics, then you'll be lost and you'll lose any kind of sense of admiration for the comic. At least that's what I think. So I didn't get a lot. And as it is, this is number 7. It's not number 1 or anything like that. So I don't really know who the characters are, and I don't have any kind of attachment. I mean, you really have to build an attachment with characters on this kind of thing, which is one of the great things of Walking Dead, is you care about every single one of the characters. These guys, I mean, I only read issue 7. I haven't read the rest of them, but I don't really care too much about the characters. So let's go through the book and see what we have to see. So it starts out with this character. And one of the things that I don't love about Vincent Locke's art, because I do love a lot of stuff about his art. And I often talk about, I always jump ahead and let's talk about the art afterwards, like I always say. But this is some sort of character, and he's you sure you don't want to come with us? I think something bad happened. There was some sort of fight with some zombies or something like that. And this other group, there's like a couple of groups or something. And one's saying, you want to come with us? And the other one's like, no, we have stuff to do. And blah, blah, blah. Just like every zombie comic, every zombie thing, there's a heck of a lot of talking. There's a heck of a lot of dialogue. And this is no exception to the rule. So in this, there's a king zombie who talks, which like the Marvel zombies, I love that the Marvel zombies talk. This is a little bit too much for me because the king zombie is like quite intelligent, whereas the other zombies, no, in Marvel zombies, Reed Richards, even the zombie Reed Richards, is incredibly intelligent. So they are smart, but he kind of has lost his zombiness a little bit. Because he's so intelligent, whereas the Marvel zombies don't lose their intelligence. I am going to go and review some Marvel zombies. That's what I'm going to do. But anyway, they're talking about the king zombie, and they got to reach him. They got to find him. One of their compatriots was, they think he was kidnapped by the king zombie, and so they're going to kind of find him. And just like every zombie thing, they have the one Jerk, which is this character here, and he just keeps rattling off at the mouth and giving everybody a hard time in the group, because the group, just like every zombie movie, they're walking from place to place and they don't have any vehicles. Finally, I think this is the main character, the main Rick-like character, and he's had enough with the dude, and he comes up to him, punches him in the stomach, and he feels better. But then it goes over to the king zombie, and he's got all of this internal dialogue and talking to this other character who I guess is going to cast a spell, because not these zombies aren't just zombies, they're demons, or they're precursors to a demon horde or something like that. And the Zombie King is trying to create a portal to have these other zombies, kind of not zombies, these other demons invade the earth. So you have all of that in this little interlude here, and then it goes to this page where I don't know who the characters are, but it's this woman and she's in her house, and uh, John, he's come back. So apparently that's somebody. He's probably zombie. I don't know, but he could be. But and then we go back to the group, much like the Walking Dead. I mean, there's even a kid. There's a main guy like um, I can't remember his name now. And well, that's more like Carl. And so there's the wife figure. So I mean, the dynamic is certainly very Walking Dead-ish, or the Walking Dead-ish was more like this, which like I said, every group has that. They have the dad, the mom, the kids, the two or three outsiders that are part of the group. Rick, that's who it is. So they're just kind of talking about what one says that he thinks they're lost, and he says he's like a tracker, and they're talking about how there's no footprints in the gravel or anything, so you can't track anything. And the Rick guy says, "Yeah, I could track him. It's like I can sense him." So they make it to, I think they make it to where they can see the horde of zombies, and they're going to have some sort of satanic ritual and stuff like that. And the king zombie, Deke is the one that was taken by the king zombie. I don't know whether he is a zombie or whether he's just a another character, but he knows how to create some sort of portal. I really kind of wish that I knew more about the backstory and stuff like that. And yes, if I do see more Dead Worlds, I will grab them. Only not so much for the story. The story seems like pretty cool, and I like the whole demons take on it and the king zombie. I actually do like all that stuff because it's very new and fresh as far as the zombie genre goes. But it's the artwork that I would get. I love Vincent Lockes art. I'm going to say that already straight away. I think he's a beautiful artist, and he just is fantastic. So they're in the dark, and they're trying to summon their horde of demons. And what's his name? The tracker is like, there's only one way. We could either bust in there and try to save Deke rather, and try to fight our way out, which is going to be nearly impossible, or we take this gun here and we shoot him in the head from far away, and then we try to escape. And everybody's like, just kind of like The Walking Dead. There's like, no way, we can't do that. And they like him and haw. But then they come to realize that like that's the only way that things are going to pan out. Like that's the only way they're going to stop this horde of demons from entering the world. And even though they don't like it, they kind of go along with it. And his girlfriend or wife or whatever, she's like, no, I don't want to leave you. And he's like, you gotta, baby, you gotta. I can't stand you staying back here, and you're gonna die. So they take off, they leave. They're trying to get as far away from there as possible before this Rick Grimes type character takes a shot at Deke, who he's trying to kill. He's going to try to kill Deke, and then I think he's going to try to kill the zombie king. But of course, he misses. Blam, zing, and it alerts the Zombie King and Deke to all of the what's going on. I think Deke is a willing participant in the Zombie Lord's shenanigans, but I'm not entirely sure. So the zombies are, Zombie Lord sends his horde after this Rick Grimes type character, and he's pulls out his gun and he starts blasting zombies. And apparently there's some other demons, and they started to come through the portal or whatever. And I'm not entirely sure what happens here. This is a demon and kablam. So they don't know what's going on, I guess. So there's lots of action going on, and the demons are after him. But then he turns around, he shoots one in the gut, even though he's about to get killed. And he's going to. They're doing their thing. They're raising the portal, and it's going to be it's going to be all good for the Zombie King and the Zombie Lord and Deke and all the zombies, all the demons are going to come through. When finally, and this dude, he's running, he's trying to get away. And finally, there's some help that comes along. They don't know who this is. It's just a new characters, set of new characters, and these shotgun blasts. They're blowing away demons and stuff. And he's got a walkie-talkie, and apparently, and a helicopter. Apparently, they're part of some sort of militia, military, something like that. And he says, "We're here to help you." And he contacted, or he found the other group, and they told him what was going on. So very conveniently, he shows up with his helicopter, starts blowing away the horde of demons, and starts blowing away the ritual or whatever it is that they're going to use to open the gate. And the zombie horde, they make their way into the woods, and he's like, "We can't follow them into the woods in a helicopter, and we can't do it by foot. It would be too dangerous. It's nighttime. They would destroy us." And they kind of just fly away. So it's like an episode of, like I said, Walking Dead. And the zombie lord, he's just watching as the helicopter takes off into the distance. So it's a good story. It's really very hard. I really wish at the beginning there would be a previously or something like that. That's what I do in my comics, because I mean, you never know when it's your reader's first comic. And also, I think it's just a good idea to refresh the reader's mind of what's going on. They don't do that. This introduction is just more about the editor talking about his favorite zombie movies or horror movies or whatever. So the writing, the script and plot is by Stuart Kerr, and the script plot and art is by Vincent Lockes. I'm going to guess that the straight scripting part is by Stuart Kerr. I have no real idea if anybody knows the way that they did these comics. Please let me know, because I'd really like to know the division of the labor, and if I'm not giving Stuart Kerr enough praise or enough recognition, because I feel like this is a Vincent Lockes comic and not so much a Stuart Kerr comic. But like I said, every time about the writing, their voices, each character has their own voice, and you can really tell that by the situations. I mean, you have the douchebag guy, you've got the kid who's always kind of just saying doofish, kiddish stuff. You've got the leader, and they all talk. I would say they are cliche, because they're in a zombie comic, but it's not in a bad cliche. They're just kind of they are the stereotypes of what they are. And there's a lot of emotion. This woman character who this person is coming back, that's a zombie or something creature, and she's all excited. And I mean, it's a lot of really great emotion. It's a lot of moving the story forward. And the Demon Lord, he's got this different lettering, balloons going around the lettering, which is really fantastic. It gives him a little unique twist. And he also talks quite different than the other people, the other human characters. And they have their own kind of slang, call humans warmies, and they do call them zombies a couple times, but they call them other things too, not just zombies. So there's a lot of emotion. There's a lot of character in their dialogue, which is one of the things that I really truly look for in a comic. Is it Neil Gaiman in his dialogue or Alan Moore? No, it's not. But the dialogue is really, really is good. It's good, really good, and it doesn't make you doubt the veracity of the characters or what they are or what they're doing. So that part is really good. The plot is a little bit thin, but I mean, you only have so many pages in the comic, and you've got so much story that you want to say, and I mean, it's continuing on and from wherever it's going to where it's been, and I think it does a good job. I'm not confused ever, even though I don't know who these characters are, because of their good characteristics, their scripting. And their dialogue, I kind of know who they are, even if I don't know who they are. So That part is enjoyable, and the whole part of the zombie king trying to summon demons and all of that stuff, that is very well put, well thought out, and it's all told through dialogue. It's none of it is told through script, text, or anything like that, which is really cool. I much prefer that. I do like when some art writers wax poetic or whatever, and they kind of go on and stuff. I mean, I could just read Alan Moore stuff, nonstop every day, all day, every day. But or Neil Gaiman, like I said. But when you get somebody like Todd McFarlane who doesn't really know what they're doing, then it becomes bothersome, and it's just not as great or fun to read. Where they don't do that here, and really, it's a combination of it's great comic book work because comics are a language all their own. They're not writing and art. They're a combination of the both. And if you're doing it good enough, then it becomes its own language. And it's not just writing. It's not just art. It's comics, right? It's comics, which is its own language, like I said. And so I've said obvious before that that's my language. My language is comic book language. So that's why I don't script my comics, is because when I'm drawing, that's my language. That's what I'm scripting in. I'm already doing my script because that's the language I know. So the writing is really good. I really enjoyed it. I loved it. I like the plotting and the scripting and the dialogue and all that stuff. That's really great. Well, great. I'm going to give that an 8 or a 9. Probably an 8. It's not fantastic. Like I said, it's not Alan Moore. It's not anything like that, but it's very good. Very, very good. So the main reason I love this book is because of Vincent Lockes' art. A lot of times I talk about how clean artists are, and I often cite that as one of the reasons that I enjoy their art. I would consider myself a little bit more of a clean artist. I'm kind of in between being super clean, like a I don't know. I'm drawing a blank. Bart Sears. Bart Sears is super clean. Or somebody who's super messy, like Bill Sienkiewicz. I'm definitely not on the messy side. I'm more on the clean side. Doesn't mean that I don't fully love a messy thing. Sienkiewicz is like one of my top 3 favorite artists of all time. And Vincent Locke, he's really could be up there if he did more work that I was really familiar with, and the writing and the characters and stuff where I was a little bit more familiar with. Then I think Vincent Locke would be in my top 10, maybe top 20, something like that. But I will definitely go through a top 20 list at some point. But everything is very messy in a wonderful way. Everything is super organic. Even the people are so organic. It looks kind of like a Penny Dreadful, how the art in Penny Dreadfuls were done. And it's like almost like just a pen and ink nib kind of thing, where it's just a lot of scritching, and it's not a lot of brushwork with dark blacks and stuff like that, which I love. I love a lot of this stuff. I mean, just everything he does is in the background. Like everything comes together in his pen work. He's just such a fantastic pen and ink worker, and I love his scratching. I love this, the grass and the background and stuff. It must take forever. Each page must take a long time because he's using so much intricate detail in his line work. But also, like I said, it's very organic. But then if you get to something that's not so organic, it still looks fantastic as well. Like this gun or the hat, or I don't think there's a city in here or anything like that. But I love that part too, because he's not like, I've got to use a ruler and I've got to, make every detail, minute and microscopic and everything, exact. He has confidence. That's one of the great things about the messy artists like this, is if they have confidence, then it shows. It shows through the art. And if you have that confidence, then you can do a lot of different stuff and make a lot of things really great and fantastic. I love his characters, his not so much as his anatomy, but like his facial features and expressions and stuff like that. It's a little bit more cartoony. I kind of wish he was not quite as cartoony sometimes, because he's got these great Rick Veitch or Steve Bissette kind of pages and panels and facial emotions and stuff, and then he goes into the not Kevin Smith, Sam Keith. He goes into this Sam Keith kind of cartoonishness, which, it's good, it's fine, it doesn't deter from me enjoying it. It's just I kind of wish he would maintain a steady way of doing it. It kind of, for me, it breaks it a little bit. It breaks the seriousness of the situation a little bit, and makes it into a little bit more of a Indiana Jones kind of thing than a really serious life or death situation. Which I know Indiana Jones is serious life or death, but there's always, the quirky quips and the humor and stuff like that. So I kind of think I would have enjoyed this if there's a little bit less humor. Like, look at this fantastic face. He's just got such great emotion. All of his panels, all of his pages have such really fantastic raw emotion. It's really really great. And I encourage you guys to check out Deadworld and Vincent Lockes, because he's really fantastic. Michael Zulli. I hearken Michael Zulli and Vincent Lockes. They're like might as well be the same artist, because they are so intertwined as far as their technique and their style is. And I love both of them. I love both of them. So anyway, I'm done gushing about Vincent Lockes. I really think he's a fantastic artist, and I kind of think Sam Keith maybe took some of his style from Vincent Lockes, or was Sam Keith before Vincent Lockes? I will have to look that up. But before we go, and I'm going to give this a Deadworld an 8. Yes, I want more issues. I want more copies. But it's not because I love the story. It's because I love the art, and the story I could grow to enjoy. And so dollar bin diving, I'm going to go look for some more. I would pay $2 or $3, $4 for more copies, and look at the fantastic back covers for this issue. But here's the thing that I'm really looking forward to. I'm going to go try to find Night Streets. If anybody has any of these comics, let me know if it's a good book, and whether it's worth pursuing, because this looks like something that I would really love. And I'm going to go to eBay pretty much after I'm done filming this video, and I'm going to try to find all of the comics. I think there's 5 copies in the series, and so I'm really going to try to do that, and I'll let you guys know what I find. But this because it went from Deadworld went from Arrow to Caliber Press, and Caliber is one of my favorite publishers, so they always do really cool stuff, and I really can't wait to try to find some Night Streets. They're not too expensive. I already looked them up, and I'm definitely going to find some. But anyway, Deadworld number 7, the series. I'm giving it an 8. I'm going to give it a 9. I'm going to give it a 9 based on Vincent Lockes' art alone, because that is really fantastic art, and I love it. I love the covers. I love the back covers. It's really great. So based on the art alone, it's a 9. The writing doesn't drag it down. That's a huge bonus. But it doesn't elevate it to any kind of a 10 or anything like that. But anyway, Deadworld number 7, 1988 is when it came out. I guess the series started in 1987. So it's really basically just after that golden age of 1986, which is, like, for me, the really golden age of comics. But Deadworld, I'm giving it a 9. Yeah. So if you guys like this kind of content, please consider subscribing, and let me know what you think about this comic as well. If you've read any of them, or you plan on checking it out after this review, let me know. I really love your guys' comments. And like I said, if you're new to the channel, consider subscribing, hitting the notification bell. And I do videos Mondays and Thursdays. I'm pretty much on clockwork with these videos, unless something crazy happens. But let me know. Deadworld. Thanks for watching and keep on creating.